Hey everybody, just wanted to talk you through a quick review of this Jim Dunlop trigger capo today. You can see that it is a Jim Dunlop one there on the end. So this capo, it's a classic design, so it's really easy to move around the fretboard. My daughter uses this. I've got a G7th capo, which I talk about in a couple of my other videos. But this is great. It's a lot less money than a G7th, and they're really easy to move around. But I just wanted to show you how to use it if you haven't used one before, and just something to watch with a capo of this type, this trigger style of capo. There's a few different types, as I mentioned, the G7th, then a couple of different brands and different designs and things. So they're really helpful because you can just whack them on the fretboard like that. Now, I've got an electric guitar here, and I'm going to demonstrate why you need to be careful using this sort of capo, because with an electric guitar, you tend to bend strings as you're playing, because that's, it's a solo instrument. If you're playing guitar solos with a capo like this, you've got to be really careful when you're soloing that the string doesn't get stuck in a pulled position. So what I mean by that, and I'll try and demonstrate that by playing, but essentially if you bend a string, the capo can actually hold it stuck in that position. When you're ready to move on to the next phrase, then your guitar string is stuck in a pitched up position, which means your playing afterwards is going to be out of tune. So you've got to be careful to get a capo, particularly for electric guitars, that is the correct tension. So there's a few ways to do that. It's definitely not it doesn't mean you can't use this capo, it's just something to be aware of. So I'll explain what I mean in this next little bit now. I'll make this exaggerated for the sake of the video. If you're bending the string and it goes up like this, and then your capo holds it there, you can see that there's a big gap between the strings here now. I'll do it on one of the other, you could do it on the lower strings too, but if you're bending a note like this and it bends up and your capo holds it, you can see that this string didn't get back to where it was supposed to be. And so you've got to be careful. You'll see this reset once I take the capo on and off. So just something to be aware of if you're going to buy this style of capo. But all in all, the Jim Dunlop one is great. There's lots of different brands who do the same type of capo, similar design. This one seems to hold quite nice and steady. I was actually surprised here doing this video now that it worked as well as it did, because I've definitely tried some in the past that did not work. Another thing that can actually happen, and I had an old capo that used to clamp too tightly. And so as soon as you put it on, you had to retune your guitar, which took quite a while with a capo because it was actually too tight. So it's this really, it's this thing you've got to manage between, good and bad. So if you can find a capo where you can set the pressure so that it goes on the string and is pressure as much as you desire it, because the action changes up and down the neck, which is the advantage of something like the G7th capo, because you can push and it will remember, it's got a memory sort of feel inside it, and it will clamp as hard as you need it to in that one spot. So all in all, great capo, definitely worth it. There are better options out there if you play solo electric guitar and you're bending strings and you want them to stay in the same spot and not move around. But this is going to cover 95% of your playing and you won't notice. So it's a great one. I hope that the video was helpful. Let me know if there's something else you want me to review or ask or talk about, and we can go from there. So thanks for watching. Bye.